Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Transport Authority expresses regret at employee security guard incident at Coronado Primary School. The Transport Authority says it has launched an internal investigation into the report of an altercation between one of its employees and a security guard at the Coronado Primary School in St. James on Monday. Expressing regret and grave concern regarding the incident, the authority said it is awaiting the outcome of the internal investigation and will treat the findings in accordance with its grievance procedures and disciplinary codes. Meanwhile, the authority underscored that it encourages all employees to resolve conflicts in a constructive and amicable manner. It said it empathizes with the teachers, parents, and in particular, the students who were exposed to this display of violence. The police are also conducting an independent investigation into the matter. St. James District Constable found dead at home. 61-year-old St. James District Constable Marlon Brown was found dead at his home on Monday evening. Brown, otherwise called Big Brown, of Eden in this district in the parish, was attached to the Mount Salem police station. He had reported a complaint to several colleagues on Sunday that he was not feeling well and left work to go home. When he did not return to work on Monday, several phone calls were made to his cell phone, but there was no answer. A team of cops went to his home to check on him and found him lying motionless on his bed. He was rushed to hospital where he was pronounced dead. His wife has been overseas. Brown had been a district constable at Mount Salem since 1989. His colleagues had described him as very kind, loving, jovial, and hard-working individual who is always on the ball and always ready to assist persons within the constabulary force and in his community. Woman among 4 arrested for illegal firearm in Manchester. Police have detained 4 people, including a woman, after she was found to be in possession of an illegal firearm during a stop-and-search operation in Mandeville on Tuesday afternoon. Head of the Manchester Police, Superintendent Lloyd Darby, confirmed that officers were carrying out the operation in the vicinity of the Mandeville police station when a Honda motor car was intercepted. During a search of the vehicle and its occupants, the police said the lone female was found to be in possession of the firearm. The weapon and vehicle were seized and the 4 people taken into police custody. St. Elizabeth farmer who killed teen boys wins appeal. Alton Baker, the man convicted for the slaying of 2 St. Elizabeth students in January 2014, on Friday had his murder conviction set aside and substituted for manslaughter after the appeal court found that the trial judge had erred in failing to leave the issue of the provocation to the jury and as such deprived Baker of the consideration of the lesser offense of manslaughter. The St. Elizabeth man, who was in 2017 convicted on 2 counts of murder before Justice Martin Gale, had been sentenced on both counts of life imprisonment at hard labor with the stipulation that he should serve 30 years before becoming eligible for parole. Those sentences were ordered to run concurrently. However, on Friday the court, which had reserved judgment in 2021, after hearing the appeal, ruled that the convictions for murder on both counts of the indictment are squashed, judgments and verdicts of the acquittal are entered and verdicts of guilty of manslaughter are substituted. It further ruled that the sentences of life imprisonment at hard labor with the stipulation that the appellant serves 30 years before becoming eligible for parole be set aside and sentences of 24 years imprisonment at hard labor for manslaughter substituted. The court further ruled that the sentences are to be viewed as having commenced on July 7, 2017 and are to run concurrently. In the case which captured national attention, the fathers of the 15-year-old teens, Desrick Williams and Ashnell Cook, on January 8, realized their sons were missing after neither were home at nightfall. A search party which set out at 10 p.m. that night led to a river where one of the boys would always fish and subsequently led to the discovery of their bodies. The prosecution called 8 witnesses, one of whom testified that she earlier heard the enraged farmer telling his grandmother that he killed the 2 boys them with a Nyamotim Gong, a colloquial term for farm. According to the witness, the convicted man, who she knew from birth, then went on to say me chop them up in a them head, and I see him so if me catch Ken Why, me go push me machete through him neck. Cause him drive down upon me with him car, and I see him so if no pitney did in there, me woulda kill a whole of them too. The court heard that the convicted man's grandmother told him to calm down and offered him food, which he told her to put away until later. The St. Elizabeth police, based on investigation received in the hours following the gruesome discovery of the bodies, about 3 a.m., went to Baker's house and took him into custody for questioning. The cops then returned to his home and seized a pair of water boots, items of clothing, and 3 machetes that belonged to Baker before returning to the Silo police station where he was arrested on reasonable suspicion of murder. During the trial, Baker, in a brief unsworn statement from the dock, said that he did not commit the murders and he knew nothing about them. He also denied making the statements attributed to him. Counsel for Baker, in filing the appeal on 7 grounds, argued mainly that he was denied a fair trial because of various failures and/or errors on the trial judge's part. On the issue of whether the trial judge's directions to the jury and how to treat the statement of the witness to his grandmother in respect of the murders was inadequate, the court on Friday said, even in the face of deficiencies in the trial judge's directions, we cannot say that the jury would have arrived at any other conclusion. Consequently, we are satisfied that the conviction is safe on this basis and that the appellant has not suffered any substantial miscarriage of justice. Accordingly, this grounds fails. On Friday, the court, in handing down its ruling, said all the grounds of the appeal had failed except for ground 5, which held that the trial judge erred in failing to leave the lesser offense of manslaughter on the basis of provocation to the jury for their consideration. Under that ground, as indicated earlier, we found that the trial judge erred in failing to leave the issue of provocation to the jury, thereby depriving the appellant of the consideration of the lesser offense of manslaughter. However, having regard to the compelling evidence against the appellant that was presented at the trial, we are of the view that, in the interest of justice, the proper course to adopt to the substituted verdicts of guilty of manslaughter in place of verdicts of guilty of murder. For that reason, it is necessary for us to revisit the sentences that the trial judge imposed, the appeal court stated. As indicated, we find that the appropriate sentence range in the circumstances of this case, which included 2 victims, would be between 15 to 25 years. Being mindful of the overwhelming evidence against the appellant and the age and immaturity of the victims, we think an appropriate starting point with the range would be 19 years imprisonment, the court said further. The court, in making its decision, also considered several aggravating factors which included, among other things, the prevalence of these offenses in Jamaica and the location of the injuries, which were to be back of the head, as well as the mitigating factors, such as antecedent reports, which described Baker as hardworking, and a psychiatric report that indicated that the appellant had been affected by his prolonged use of ganja. It said while as a result of the mitigating factors, the sentences would be adjusted downwards when the aggravating and mitigating factors are balanced, it still found that the aggravating factors far outweigh the mitigating factors in the present case and that sentences close to the top of the range would be appropriate. As a result, when the total offending is looked at in the round against the background of the personal circumstances of the appellant, we believe a sentence of 24 years imprisonment at hard labor on each count of the indictment would be appropriate, it stated. Party ban worry. The decision by some police divisions to deny promoters permission to stage events in areas where criminals have been active was vindicated on Sunday night after a party in Franklin Town, which the Kingston Eastern Police had allowed, was attacked by gunmen, leaving 12 people nursing gunshot wounds. The band has now left residents worried about their economic survival as they make a living from entertainment events and other fundraising activities. On Monday, head of the Kingston Eastern Police Division, Superintendent Tommy Lee Chambers declared a ban on entertainment events in the community until the cops get a handle on the attack. No permits will be granted until we know the motive for this shooting. We haven't had any serious incident in this space since last year, August. The residents here have been working with the police and I am surprised to see this happen, he told reporters. Everything was going well and people were reaching out to us to say since COVID, they haven't really received permits and they would like to feel the togetherness again. I am disappointed that the first permit granted for the area, something like this, would have occurred, stated Chambers. But even as the police struggle to determine a motive for the shooting, reporters understand from sources in the community who claim that it was a continuation of the bloody feud between members of the Dark Side and genocide gangs which operates out of the neighboring Central Kingston community. For some time, the two gangs have been engaged in a deadly battle which started in Central Kingston, continued in New York, the fatal shooting of the alleged leader of the Darkside gang, Donald Little Danny Nash, at a party in Brooklyn last October, and is believed to have spilled over in Park Lane in northern St. Andrew, where the killing of two men last Tuesday. According to sources, the attack on patrons at the party Sunday night was carried out by men linked to the genocide gang who had believed that a top-ranking member of the Darkside gang was in the attendance. On Monday, traumatized residents within the area believe Wellington Street and Somerton Avenue, where the party was held, that they are worried about the implications of the attack on their livelihoods. This after the police superintendent declared that people who were already planning events will have to put those plans on pause for now. In the meantime, Councillor Charmaine Daniels, People's National Party Almantown Division, told reporters that with additional barracks at the new Franklinton Police Station, which was opened in March, there is an opportunity to house more policemen and women to patrol the community. According to Daniels, there needs to be a concentrated police presence in the community with more foot patrols. Let the citizens see more police on foot patrolling the place instead of shifting the community to say, because this happened, at every party something is going to happen. This event was a round robin that was going on so long and nothing like this happened. It shouldn't be because something happened, you stifle everyone. It's a small community and the most of their livelihoods come from round robin, party, fish fry, and bingo. With this now, everything might stop, and we really don't know where this is coming from, argued Daniels. The residents are in shock, and they are asking why now. 12 people were shot. There was a ceasefire in the community from October when everybody came together to say enough is enough because production had to go on and people had to make money and empower them to go on. I am actually dumbstruck right now. This round robin, cheers and beers, has been going on every Sunday and people happy and people make them little money different from the promoters makes, added Danielle. She argued that it would be incorrect to link this attack with an on-again, off-again dispute between gangsters from Franklin Town and those from a neighboring community. You might have people saying one thing or another, but I really don't think it is coming from the previous feuds within Dunkirk. We had a ceasefire, and that was settled. We had dialogue with both communities about bringing back the community together. If it was anybody from the other community, I would be surprised, declared Daniels. Up to news time on Monday, 7 of the people shot had been treated and released from hospital. 3 remain admitted, while the condition of the other 2 are unknown. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.